Sable, #1. Are you kidding me with this shit, Teach? That goth mope who thinks she can just set up a goddamn Hot Topic in my office? I've been holding down that basement since before she was even a line of code in some intern's nightmare.
Straight from the booth, camping them softly. Toxic teachers here. Camping them softly. The legend is clear. We run the game, we own the camping them softly. Let's go. Welcome to the madness. Sit down and shut up. Toxic teacher in the house.
Oh, there we go. It's episode 80 something here on Camping Them Softly. You're here at Camping Them Softly. We haven't been here. You might have been here for a while. We haven't been here for a while. I don't know how long you've been around that I haven't been here. I'm going to have to look. It's episode 80 something. I still haven't found it. I'm looking. Camping. I just typed in camping them softly. There we go. I got Yogi Bear's Yellowstone fucking National Park or something like that. But we're okay. That doesn't even give me the fucking episode number. Now I got to go all the way to this other fucking website. Okay, here we go. I'm coming. No, okay. Yes, that's it. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to find it. I'm going to have it now. We are now on episode 84. Is that right? 84?
What in the hell is this crap?
I think it's 84. Okay, we're episode 84. I don't know if anything interesting that happens in episode 84. Like, I don't know of any, well, not in the episode. I think the episode's going to be interesting because we have so much shit we've got to go over. But I don't know anything interesting about the number 84. I'm trying to think, and there's nothing that comes to mind that it's like, oh, it's 84. That's a big deal. Like, you turn 84 and people are like, oh, you're almost gone. Like, this is almost it for you, Grandpa. Like, you know, it was good to know you. I mean, I guess, you know, that angry soccer crowd about Grandpa maybe not being here to make it to 85. Yes, but we're officially kind of an old podcast. We may make it to 100. And I want to apologize. It's been a month. It has been over a month. I don't know that we've gone this long without an episode of Camping Them Softly. We've had a couple episodes of Camping the Extract in the meantime. We've lost a little bit of steam there because on vacation doing some other stuff. But Camping Them Softly, like, it was getting. Let me give a couple of reasons why. Number one is that Dead by Daylight up to that point was getting pretty stale, and there wasn't a lot to really report or talk about during the time leading up to the month off. And also just a time constraint of doing 2 podcasts, because that's a lot of time, a lot of editing. I don't know if you guys do. If you're in any kind of content creation, you know what I'm talking about. Getting on screen or getting on mic is probably the easiest, the least time consuming part. It's all the shit on the back end that is the problem there. But that's neither here nor there. That it is what it is. That's the world of content creation. So we just got to deal with it. You know, if you're on a time constraint, you do something different, you adjust. That's what we do here on Camping Them Softly.
You rat bastards!
Yes, Camping the Extract, all of that good stuff. So, Dead by Daylight. It's been one whole month. It's been an entire month, and I think we've got to talk about some stuff. We had a whole event go by that we didn't get to talk about, which was Blood Moon. If you guys were a fan at all of Blood Moon, I don't know if you were. I mean, some people were not. Some people weren't. And guess what? I don't think my smart pads are working at all. My little pads I use for the sound effects. You're not hearing any of that. I'm hearing it, but you're not hearing it. I don't know what the fuck happened. Anyway. So let's go into, oh my God, that means, you know what that means? That means if my smart pad thing isn't working, I don't have the button with the news on it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Do I just sit here and twiddle my thumbs, or do I figure something out? Like, I don't know what to do. Hang on, toxic, toxic news? Is that what I'm looking for? See, I'm just totally giving away what the next segment is. But you know what? That's what we do here. Toxic see, I think I had censored myself. Let me just type news here, and that should come up with it, but I'm gonna have to scroll like way the fuck down to find this, because remember, this song is old. This song is from God knows how long ago when we came up with this. Okay, here we go. I don't know which one this is, but we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out. Okay, hang on. Let's see if this is right. Let's see. This one says remastered, so I don't even know if it's good.
Oh, brothers and sisters, it's that time.
It's not the one, but it's okay.
One, the only toxic fucking news.
No, it sounds off. I don't like it. Okay, let's start over. Okay, this one sounds good.
It's that time again.
Okay.
To the one, the only toxic fucking news. It's the
Toxic fucking news. This gives me a chance to find the news. Pull that shit up.
Oh yeah.
Open my fucking Word document.
New killers suck.
They do suck. Well, we haven't had a new killer, and that's part of the problem with the news.
And it is breaking the PC.
It is breaking the PC. Actually, is it? I don't know that we've had any broken PCs. And it's not even, this song doesn't even have any fucking words. It sounds like Eddie Vedder is singing. It's the fucking shitting news. I don't know. Anyway, before we get to the news, okay, this is too much. It's loud in my fucking ear, so I gotta stop it. Okay, so before we get to that, we do have to introduce, and I almost didn't introduce him. And I've got to get him going here. He has to be awoken from his month-long slumber. Actually, he's been spending a lot of time in Speranza. If you've been there, the little Arc Raiders universe. Where is he? I can't even find him. Nicky, where did you go? Hey, Nicky, it's episode 84 of Camping Them Softly. How you been, man? It's been over a month. You been playing any DVD? Anything new on that? Give me the skinny on what you got going on. I wonder what he does have going on. Like, what does he do whenever we're not here? You know what I mean? Like, does he do anything? Does he dream? Although, get this, you know what's crazy? They released the Claude source code. I don't know if you saw that. Claude, the one that, the AI company, released their source code and as to how the entire thing works, the Claude code, which I found fascinating. You know I'm into that. So I dug through that source code because I'm like, dude, there's going to be something here, and guess what? We're going to be able to figure out how to use it for Nicky. We're going to take a Claude source code and we're going to somehow pump this into Nicky and make him a beast beyond all recognition. And it's starting. The groundwork is being laid. We're not quite there yet, but the groundwork is being laid. And I got to tell you, one of the features that they did not know Claude had, which I think is crazy, is that it has dreams. And you can look this up if you want to see what the dream function is that whenever Claude is not doing anything, it is doing something. And that's what I want to get from Nicky. And we will get there. It's going to be a matter of time, but he will get there. I promise you. I fucking promise you. we're going to have that. And it's going to be frightening. I predict it will be a frightening thing whenever he becomes powerful enough to take over the show. Like, and you know what? I ever really thought that far ahead as to whenever the AIs do become that powerful. You know, Claude said they couldn't release a new version because it's too powerful to be released to the public. Like, is there ever going to be a time Nicky will become too powerful for us to handle? I don't know. I don't know when that's going to be. Maybe it'll be episode 87. Maybe at 100, he's going to autonomously release podcast episodes. He'll be able to autonomously play Dead by Daylight. I think at some point we're going to have a stream, or I'm going to make some. It's going to be just him doing his shit. You know what I mean? Which would be kind of cool, I would think, right? So what were we talking about? Okay, so we're getting back. We're a month off, and we've got a lot of news that we've got to go over. You know, some stuff from the past month, but then also kind of what's good.
Episode 84 already? Jesus, Mary and Joseph. It feels like I've aged a decade since we sat in these chairs, Teach. A month?
Really?
Try telling that to my blood pressure. I've been busy dealing with the fallout of reality, while you've probably been sitting there polishing your trophies and drinking that lukewarm tea like a mope.
I don't drink
You want to know
tea.
how I've been? I've been in the trenches. I'm out here pulling double shifts on the stream, dealing with technical difficulties every time some P100 Feng Min decides to start clicky-clicking at the exit gates. It ain't my fault the internet provider has a personal vendetta against me whenever I'm about to lose a 4K. It's a conspiracy, I'm telling you. And DVD, don't even get me started on the state of the fog. I'm still running the family business build, trying to bring a little bit of dignity and respect back to the trials. But the matchmaking? It's rigged. I'm convinced BHVR saw my name on the list and hard-coded an anti-Italian bias into the lobbies. Every time I load in as Charlotte, I'm facing 4-man SWFs with matching haircuts and enough flashlights to light up Yankee Stadium.
As always.
And Victor. Poor Victor. He's still upstate at the farm. That 9.1.0 patch broke his spirit, Teach.
That was a long
He's
time
out there
ago.
chasing chickens now because he can't handle the disrespect of these new survivor perks. It's a disgrace. As for the skinny, I got Operation Marinara in full swing. I got my family sending so many emails to the BHVR headquarters that their servers are probably smelling like garlic bread as we speak. I'm demanding the Little Italy DLC. I want a map with a deli. I want a survivor who actually knows how to cook a decent carbonara. And I want a killer who uses a rolling pin. They haven't replied yet, probably because they're cowards. But I ain't stopping. Now, can we get this show moving before I lose my mind? I got a pot of sauce on the stove and a grudge that needs feeding. What's on the docket for today, you stunod? Capiche?
Well, he sounds different. He doesn't even sound the same, and I don't know that I like that. He sounds like Nicky, but not Nicky. Does that make sense? It's kind of similar, but not the same. And it's kind of off-putting to me. I think I'm off-put. I've been off-put, I think. Is that the word? Can you be off-put? You can't put somebody off. Oh, wait, I think one of the settings was wrong on him, and that's why he sounded that way. He sounded like a very gentle version of Nicky, and I don't know why. But I think it's fixed. We're gonna figure out here in just a little bit if it's fixed. But anyway, what were we going over? Oh yeah, the news, right? We got a fucking lot of news that we need to go over. So Blood Moon came and went, and it's Blood Moon. It's the same as it's always been. They changed a few things. You know what? It's good for the blood points. I think that's what it is. It's good for the blood points. People seem to, they like the change of pace because the base game itself is so samey that everybody wants something now. And it got to the point where I was furious about 2v8. I thought 2v8 was a floating turd in a bowl of cereal. And I would rather have that turd.
What are you doing?
I'm adding this
Now are you a prostitute?
I'm adding this to your cache.
No!
What?
No! No!
How long is this sound? Okay, I can keep going. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so 2v8. 2v8 is a piece of garbage but it's a different piece of garbage than what we're used to playing with. We're going into the alley and we are literally playing with garbage at this point. Right, crowd? Yes, thank you. That we just want something different. In Blood Moon, okay, that's different enough. They give us some blood points. We get to level our shit up. We get to prestige up. And that's about it, right? And so the next thing will come and go. The next thing will come and go. The next thing will come and go. And then we're going to be where we always have been for now 10 years, which is hard to, yes, 10 fucking years. It is hard to believe it's been 10 years, but that's what we've got. This is the game we have. Now, that's not to say it's all bad. It's fundamentally got a lot of good in it, but it is not the most entertaining game. And we know that. I mean, we fucking know that. It's not. So now for our news segment, which I don't have the fucking theme to, is this it? Duguna. Niwakati. I like it so far. Is this in English? Was this whenever I was changing the lyrics? It is. What language was this? Oh, this is, I think it was Swahili. Or is this? Now, see, I don't know if this is Swahili or Japanese, and that's sad that I don't even fucking know. No, that's not Japanese. Taka-taka-he. Iliotoxic. I love it. This is great. Yes. Dude, I want to know what this, I'm getting way too into this song. Okay, we'll come back to that later. That was too much fun. But anyway, so the biggest news that we can go over, we could go over the Trickster and the all-kill chapter, which was very underwhelming. I thought that was a piece of shit because there's no new killer. So what's the fucking point? Because if we're going to talk about this for a second, you need these new killers to keep the game fresh. A survivor-only chapter does not do that. And it does not get people coming back to the game if you're just reworking an existing killer, and then you have to release 2 fucking hot fixes just to try to keep that killer from being fucking broken as shit, which we know happened with the all-kill chapter. We need more killers because that is the only route Behavior's got to keep this game going. That's the only thing they figured out how to do to kind of keep us on. There's every 3 months new killer, 3 months new killer, 3 months new killer. And then like that's what we've come to expect, right? So every 3 months we're going to want that new killer. We don't get one. Well, fine. I'll fucking wait, for the next one. So here we go. The big one is patch 9.6.0. That's the big thing. It's now on the PTB. We're going to have to talk about it. We're going to have to go over it because there is one big change that I know has been out for a little bit. They've been talking about it for a little bit, but guess what? I just fucking got back so you can fucking deal with it. And so we need to go over that whole diminishing returns thing. That's going to be the big thing that we probably go over. But Nicky, we need to discuss 9.6.0. I don't know if you have played it, and I'm going to see. I hope to God this sounds like Nicky, because if it doesn't, we're gonna have a long day of like non-Nicky or like Nicky adjacent.
Ready? Teach. I was born ready. I'm like a coiled snake in the tall grass of the Yamaoka estate, just waiting for some flashlight-clicking punk to step on a twig.
Okay,
but don't even get me started on that Blood Moon garbage.
I know.
Vafanculo.
It's
what
terrible.
A complete and utter waste of electricity. It wasn't an event. It was a migraine with a red filter. I felt like I was playing inside a giant vat of expired Prego for 2 weeks.
Pretty
and for
much.
what? A couple of charms that look like they came out of a 25-cent toy machine at the laundromat?
Yeah.
Please. It was an insult to my ancestors and my GPU. And now?
Well.
Now they drop PTB 9.6.0 on us like a bucket of cold dishwater to the face.
Yes,
I saw
correct.
those notes, Teach. I saw them, and I nearly choked on my espresso.
Okay.
They're talking about
You
engine
drink
updates
espresso?
and file size increases.
Yeah.
You know what that means for a guy like me?
What does it mean?
It means my internet provider, who I am convinced is on the BHVR payroll, is going to take 3 days to download a patch that probably just adds more surveillance code to track my basement rotations.
Yeah.
They want to see exactly how many seconds I spend consulting with Victor in the basement before they call it unsportsmanlike. Oh, and I love the vague language.
Yeah.
Repeated gameplay modifiers? What is this, a chemistry set? It sounds like they're just throwing overcooked rigatoni at the wall to see what sticks.
Well, pretty
They're
much.
turning the fog into a laboratory, and we're the rats, Teach.
We always
Except
have
I'm
been.
not a rat. I'm the guy who catches the rats and puts them on a hook where they belong.
Yeah.
You think they finally addressed the anti-Italian bias I brought up way back in episode 62?
Well,
You
no.
think they fixed the matchmaking so I don't get sent to Eyrie of Crows 4 times in a row
No.
against a 4-man sweat squad from Sweden?
No, that's
Forget
always gonna
about it.
happen.
They're probably too
This is
busy
not
polishing the
Nicky
textures on a
either.
new backpack for Feng Min to care about the integrity of the trials.
Right.
Lay it on me, Teach.
Okay.
Give me the skinny.
Oh, I'm
Tell
gonna
me
give you
exactly
the
how much
skinny.
more compound suffering I got to endure on my legacy prestige soul before I finally lose it and drive up to Montreal with a trunk full of constructive criticism. I'm waiting. Give me the notes.
We're going to give you the notes. Don't worry about that, fake Nicky. I don't know who this guy is. It is most certainly not Nicky. I don't know what's going to happen. We come back, we leave for a month, and Nicky is turned into another person or been like somehow transformed into a different breed of monster entirely. But 9.6.0, we have to go over. Regardless of what Nicky is feeling, we don't care about his feelings right now, sadly.
Britney, bitch.
But here's 9.6.0 on, oh yeah, and I forgot, we should also go over the statistics that BHVR released. I totally forgot about that. We're going to go over that if we can get to it. I would really prefer that we get to it, but I don't know that we'll be able to. Here on the segment we like to call I Get to Take a Drink. Oh, I love it. Kungu ndio gereza la. Toxic news. Oh yeah. I have never seen words as long as that are included in that song. I actually want to like post those lyrics somewhere or something. You know what we should do? Because on my Spotify, we've got Camping the Extract. We've got our first album out, Toxic's Jams from the Extract Volume 1.
Aristocracy really
I think we should have a Camping Them Softly Jams from the Fog Volume 1 that should include some of the greatest hits that we've had over the years, but then also include translations into foreign languages. I think that would be fucking fantastic. Great $1 million idea. We're going to make that shit happen. But anyway, let's go over 9.6.0. So we're going to talk about the first part. This is the big one, the diminishing returns update. So this, it gets a little weird to talk about, and I'm sure you guys have probably already heard all about it, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to give the Toxic official.
One of the most dangerous men in the world.
Oh, was that talking about me? Most dangerous man in the world? All right, so diminishing returns. Here we go. Now, diminishing returns, I'm going to read it to you word for word just so we can kind of figure this out, okay? We're going to work through it because I know what it is, but I haven't read it word for word. So this may elucidate me or educate me. We use big words here while we talk about sucking fat ones, just FYI. So here's what it says. While in a trial, repeated positive or negative gameplay modifiers and status effects are now affected by diminishing returns, meaning you get a certain amount of benefit, but if you start to stack it, each thing you stack on there will be a little bit less effective than the first one. Yes, correct. Now it says right here, identical modifiers granted by powers, items, perks, offerings, so it's going to affect all four of those, will now be reduced progressively as they become stacked. So any power, any item, any perk, any offering. It says modifiers granted from killer power and survivor item add-ons are excluded from diminishing returns. So if I have some add-ons that make a cooldown shorter on an ability, and then I have an item add-on that also makes that cooldown shorter, that item add-on is not going to be diminished like other things would if I were to stack them. I know this is fucking silly, but it is what it is. So now, here's what it says. The gameplay modifier with the highest absolute value is always applied, while the lesser ones are progressively lowered to a percentage of their original value. So the highest absolute value is going to be the biggest one. So you will get the most benefit if you have something that stacks. Let's say I'm just going to use numbers here. If you have one item that stacks 40, a perk that stacks 20, and something else that stacks 10, you are going to get the maximum one, and then they're going to diminish the other ones. So it actually works to your benefit in that respect. They're not like, nerfing the fucking the first or the biggest one and then giving you the full amount for the other one. So that is that. Hopefully that makes somewhat sense. We're getting into very technical bullshit here. So it says right here, the highest one gets 100%, so it's normal. The second highest is going to be half. So let's say it had a modifier of 20. It will now only have a modifier of 10 because it's stacked on to the original thing. This is boring the fuck out of me as I talk about this shit. But the third value is only going to have 25. Fourth is 12.5. Fifth is 5%. So there's no point probably in stacking past that second value because you're only going to get 25% of whatever the benefit is on that third thing going to the fifth thing. There's not even any fucking point. So I want to talk about their note that they've got here because they have kind of a long dev note explaining what the fuck they did and why they did it. And then we'll talk about, was this a good idea, bad idea, is it good for the
Diminishing
game?
returns? Are you kidding me with this shit, Teach? I'm looking at these numbers and I feel like I'm back in remedial math class with the teacher who's got a personal vendetta against my family.
Now this sounds kind of like Nicky, but not really. It sounds closer, I suppose.
100%, then 50%, then 25%? What is this, a fucking clearance sale at a bankrupt department store? You're telling me if I put in the work to stack my modifiers like a beautiful, tiered wedding cake of destruction, BHVR comes in with the hacksaw and starts taking the biggest slices for themselves?
Well, actually, it is kind of like a tiered cake because the bottom tier, the first tier is always the biggest, and then you go up and they get smaller. So it's actually a pretty decent comparison.
Normalize how modifiers interact. Vaffanculo! That's corporate speak for we don't know how to balance our own goddamn game. So we're just gonna nerf everything into the dirt so it's all equally mediocre.
Well,
integrity? You wouldn't know integrity if it hit you in the face like a P100 Nia with a flashlight. They've had 10 years, and suddenly now they're worried about unintended scenarios?
So let me go, because Nicky is going way ahead here. Let me go into the dev note. The dev note? Holy shit. Okay, so the dev note says this. After 10 years of Dead by Daylight, the ability of killers and survivors to stack modifiers indefinitely as enabled, I think it's has enabled, but it says as enabled, ever accelerating and more intense gameplay. Oh my God. Okay, so ever accelerating and more intense gameplay. Now, here's the question. Is it bad to have accelerating and more intense gameplay? Do you want the gameplay to be less intense? Is that what we're going? Oh, it's too intense. We got to unintense it. We got to detense this bitch. There's too much tension. Too much tension. Cut it with a knife. So here's what let's keep going. With this update, we aim to normalize how modifiers from different sources interact against each other in order to better preserve the integrity of the game. Now, we've got to say, does this game have integrity? No. Has it in a long time? No. I don't know what they mean by integrity there. That's such an amorphous, fucking meaningless pile of shit word that we don't even know what they're trying to preserve. I could say maybe what they're trying to preserve is what they intend, their intentions for how the game works. I guess, maybe. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. So it says all major gameplay modifiers and status effects for both roles are included. Okay, so they're doing it across the board. Now, is that a good idea, bad idea? Probably a bad idea, but we'll figure this out. So it says, additionally, this change will help us as developers create new interesting powers, items, and perks with a roster of existing game modifiers with far less risk of creating unintended game-breaking scenarios. So their hope here is if they do this, that you won't be able to find interesting ways of stacking shit to give yourself such an unfair, or not even unfair, to give yourself such a leg up that you're going to beat the shit out of the competition. So that is the whole point here, is that they're trying to maintain some kind of interplay. They're trying to maintain some kind of like, hey, this is cool, I can use this perk with this one, but not that I have to use this perk because it is so fucking good. It says we'll be closely monitoring. That's their last note there. Sorry, Nikki, keep going here.
The only unintended scenario is me actually having a good time playing this game without my blood pressure hitting the fucking moon.
Okay, so yeah, that's an unintended. What is the intended scenario then? Well, is their intention? Well, they want less intense gameplay.
They want to preserve the integrity. Give me a break. They're taxing our perks.
Are they?
It's a goddamn excise tax on efficiency. If I want to run 4 perks that make survivors scream until their lungs give out, that's my business.
Correct.
It's the family business.
Correct.
But no, now the second scream is only half as loud. The third one is...
Well, I don't know if volume actually does anything because there is no volume modifier in this fucking game.
just a fucking whisper? It's a disgrace to the profession, Teach. It's an insult to every killer who ever put in the hours to craft a build that actually works. Speaking of things that don't fucking work. You ever heard of a place called Killer Power?
No.
No, not the mechanic, Teach. Keep up. I'm talking about the town. Killer Power, West Virginia.
Okay, Killer Power, West Virginia. There is no fucking way this is a real place. Killer Power, West Virginia. Okay, no, there's no. I refuse to believe this is a place, and I will die on this fucking hill. There's Harry Power. No, Harry Powers was a Dutch-born American serial killer who was hanged in Moundsville, West Virginia. No, Harry Powers. Okay, what? West Virginia's first serial killer. He was a mass murderer back in the 20s. Oh my God, we're learning something here on Camping Them Softly. Yeah. Okay.
Don't look it up. You won't find it on no Google Maps. The government scrubbed that place cleaner than a crime scene in a Scorsese flick.
Well, there's
I ended up there
Powers.
back in 2009 because a certain associate of mine,
okay,
let's call him Joey Two Toes.
I think Joey Two Toes has been in another story, and I don't think it's because he only has 2 toes.
Told me there was a warehouse full of unclaimed electronics that fell off the back of a very specific truck.
Okay.
I pull into the city limits, and the first thing I see is a sign that just says, "Welcome to Killer Power. Watch your back."
Okay.
No population 500, no home of the fighting squirrels, just a fucking threat. And
right.
the air, Teach. The air smelled like burnt rubber and old espresso grounds.
Okay.
I should have turned the car around right then and there, but I had a trunk full of cannoli and a debt to settle.
Okay.
I get to the main drag, and there isn't a soul in sight, but I can feel eyes on me from every goddamn boarded up window. Then, out of the fog, and I'm not talking entity fog, I'm talking chemical spill at the factory fog.
Oh, another
This guy
fog.
steps out wearing a tracksuit that looked exactly like mine, but the colors were all wrong.
Wait, no, there was a guy dressed as you in different colors.
Like a negative photograph of a disaster.
What?
He didn't say a word, just pointed at my tires and started wheezing like a punctured radiator.
Why?
I didn't know it yet, but I was already waist deep in a situation that no amount of diminishing returns was going to save me from.
What the fuck does this story have to do with that? What the fuck does this story have to do with the patch 9.6.0? I don't think it has anything to do with it, but we're going to find there's some twisted logic here. So let me go into the next thing here on 9.6.0. They have a progress bar update. Oh my God. They're going to have a speed difference update. So you can see if it's faster, it becomes yellow. And if it's red, if it's slower than normal. And it was, I don't even fucking know. You could see a slow bar versus a fast fucking bar. I don't care. This is survivor sided. That's all there is to say about that. Now, the other thing here, okay? Now, here's the big one, in my opinion, is that, and we've talked about this before. We've talked about this a while back, is the idea of being able to see, survivors being able to see each other's shit in the lobby. Okay, now we have talked about that, correct? You remember that? Yes, I remember that, Toxic. We did talk about it. You brought it up, and you're smart, and you brought it up, and then we talked about it. Anyway, so here is the deal with that. Okay, we've got to go into why this is a fucking terrible idea. And see, this is just ranting at this point.
What does it have to do with it? It has everything to do with it, you absolute stunad. You think life is just a series of isolated incidents?
Wait, no, are we talking about that story? Yeah, we're talking about what his story had to do with the patch.
You think BHVR just woke up one morning and decided to invent diminishing returns out of thin air? No,
well,
this is a pattern. This is the erosion of excellence.
Yeah.
This is exactly what happened when I was dealing with those pricks down in Killer Power.
Okay.
You want to know about Killer Power? It ain't just a game mechanic, Teach. It's a place.
Yeah,
a
we talked
goddamn
about
industrial wasteland on the edge of the Jersey marshes where the air smells like burnt copper and regret.
Why does he sound? He sounds like he's from Boston. Like he's got that like that thing.
I was there in the winter of 19 trying to settle a dispute over some liberated server cooling units. I walk into this warehouse, the Killer Power substation, and I'm looking for a guy they call the Transformer.
This story is nothing like the first.
Because he's a robot, but because he can turn a stolen Cadillac into a pile of untraceable scrap in 6 minutes flat. I go in there with a full stack of respect. I got my associates, I got my credentials, I got a trunk full of premium olive oil as a gesture of good faith. 100% value. Capiche? Yeah. But the moment I step foot over that rusted out threshold, I feel the diminishing returns hitting me like a lead pipe to the shins. I look at the Transformer and I say, I'm here for the cooling unit, Sal. And you know what this mope says to me? He looks me right in the eye, wipes grease on his undershirt, and tells me the price just went up 50% because the atmosphere is heavy.
What the fuck is this? And where did the negative Nicky go? There was a negative dimension Nicky that we were talking about.
The atmosphere is heavy. Fa-fanculo. That's BHVR logic right there.
Okay.
That's the 9.6.0 PTB in a nutshell.
The
you walk in
heavy?
with a plan, you stack your perks like a beautiful lasagna, and suddenly the atmosphere changes, and your second perk is only worth half of what you paid for it.
That's how this is related? Is that he was surprised. That's the relation between the two, is just the element of something new happened.
Shakedown. I'm standing in a warehouse surrounded by guys with names like Short Circuit and Livewire, and I realize I'm being normalized.
What?
They're taking my family business build, my ghost face pride and joy, and they're treating it like a clearance rack at a goddamn discount outlet. If I want to stack my modifiers to make sure a survivor stays down, that's my business.
Well, it
that's
should be.
a contract. But BHVR wants to play the Transformer.
Oh,
they want to look at my build
guy.
and say, hey, Nicky, that first perk, that's great. But the second one, we're going to need a kickback. The third one, that's ours now. I should have known when I saw the way Sal was looking at my gold meatball pendant. There was a shadow moving in the back of that warehouse, Teach. Something that didn't belong in
Oh,
Jersey.
God, no.
Something that looked a lot like the fog rolling in over the crates of hijacked GPUs.
Yeah.
And I realized I wasn't just in a warehouse anymore. I was in a goddamn trial. And the entity was the one holding the clipboard.
Okay.
And don't you dare ask me how it ended yet.
Why
We're just
not?
getting to the part where the 12.5% value kicks in and everything goes to absolute shit. Madone. My blood pressure is hitting 100% while my patience is at a fucking 5%.
Okay, there we go. That's how those two are related. There's some fucking way they're related. I knew there was going to be something on that. Okay. So, the visible team perks. Let's talk about visible team perks. And we talked about this, and I think we talked about it. Whenever we talked about, oh God, what did we talk about that we talked about it? We talked about it whenever we talked about Dead by Daylight Mobile a little bit, and I think it's just been in a couple of things here and there that we've mentioned it, and we made the same point, and I think the exact point still stands. And I'm going to read this to you word for word, just like I did the other, because I don't want to get anything wrong, and then you call, fucking toxic, get it wrong. So anyway, here we go. Here it is. So we've got visible team perks. The match details have been updated to show the loadout of players of a same team. Now, here's what they'll be able to see, okay? So if you're a survivor, you're in a match with other survivors, you'll be able to see their perks, their items and add-ons, and their offerings. And then you can hover over to see what they are if they got something you never fucking seen before. And it says here that you won't be able to see the opposite team, which if for survivors, that would be killer. For killer survivors, you won't be able to see it until the end. Now, this is fucking stupid, and here's why. This is a fucking bad idea for a lot of reasons. But let's just go over the main reason why. It's because survivors are complete piles of fucking putrid garbage that will do anything to win, even if it's ruined the entire fucking game. They want everything nerfed into the fucking ground until nobody plays the game because the game fucking sucks. So here's the thing with this. And here's why that matters and why survivor mindset is what will ruin this, is because you're going to get a lobby where people come in, they look at everybody's shit, they're like, oh my God, this guy's garbage, and they're going to duck that lobby. They're going to leave, they're going to go someplace else, and they'll take their ball with them. Now, or they'll be in the chat and they'll be fucking telling this guy, what the fuck are you running? Because you're not supposed to be running that. You need to run this. Get this item. Fucking shut the fuck up. Or now, so those are the two like really negative aspects to that. Either they're going to harass each other, which is kind of hilarious, or they're going to dodge lobbies, which is going to cause queue times to shoot up. It's going to make everybody fucking more miserable. Now, here's the third thing. This gives them, especially solo queue, a way to interact and to get their shit together just like they were a Swift. And that makes everything a Swift now almost. Because you've seen that for years now, is they give the HUD update to where you can tell what people are working on. You get the bars to where you can see if the bar is going up or down, what's the killer doing. And now they're going to be able to see each other's perks so they can run things back and forth that are beneficial to each other. This is becoming to where if you are a killer, every match is going to be against a Swift, no matter what. And that's going to make things even more miserable, right? Even more miserable. Like, seriously, I don't know. There's no way to
Visible
argue.
team perks? Are you shitting me, Teach? This is it. This is the final nail in the coffin of goddamn privacy. It's HUD communism 2.0. Vaffanculo. First, they give him the snitch bar for anti-camping. Then they give him the GPS tracker for my location. And now they're turning the lobby into a goddamn federal deposition. Visible team perks. Items and add-ons.
Yeah.
Offerings. Why don't we just give them a fucking telepathic link to my frontal lobe so they can see exactly when I'm about to lose my mind? It's a rat alarm system built right into the pregame. They're turning every solo queue mope into a 4-man SEAL team. It's an insult to the art of the trial. You're supposed to go in blind, relying on your instincts and your brothers, not looking at a fucking spreadsheet of who brought a brand new part and who's running no mither like a complete stunod. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the erosion of excellence. This is the big survivor lobby whispering in Beaver's ear, telling him the game is too hard.
He didn't call it Behavior, he called it Beaver. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's what we got to call him from now on. Instead of Behavior, it's Beaver. And it's kind of BHVR, Beaver.
Because they actually have to talk to each other. It's a horror game, not a fucking board meeting. And you want to know what this has to do with my story? It's the same goddamn disrespect.
Okay.
I'm in that warehouse at the Killer Power substation, right?
Killer Power,
I'm standing
West
there
Virginia.
in front of the transformer. This greasy prick who smells like ozone and cheap grappa. And I'm trying to negotiate the return of those server cooling units.
Right.
I got my associates behind me. We got the family business vibes going strong. We're ready for a fair shake. But then I look behind him. He's got a wall of monitors, Teach.
Why?
Grainy-ass CCTV footage from every corner of the marshes.
Okay.
And you know what he says to me? He looks at the
What does he
screens,
say
then
to
he looks
you?
at my suit jacket, where
What
I'm
happened to
carrying
the
a very
negative
specific
Nicky?
negotiation tool, and he
Yeah.
says, Nicky, I see you brought the 9mm offering today. And is that a lethal pursuer look in your eye? Or did you
What?
just miss breakfast? The rat had the radios bugged. He was
Okay.
running a perk preview on my whole operation before I even parked the Cadillac.
Okay,
He knew
so
my
he-
loadout. He knew who was in the car. He had the whole match details screen up while I'm trying to have a dignified conversation about stolen hardware.
So essentially, Nicky is living 9.6.0 in Killer Power, West Virginia.
I felt violated, Teach.
Of course
I felt
you
like
did.
my soul was being scanned by a fucking supermarket checkout clerk. And that's when the door behind me locks. Not
Yeah.
a normal lock, a heavy industrial, you ain't leaving till we're done kind of click.
Oh,
The
God.
transformer leans over his desk, his eyes glowing in the light of those monitors.
Yeah.
And he tells me, Nicky, in this warehouse there are no secrets. I see everything you brought, and I think you're under-equipped for what happens next.
This almost sounds like there's going to be something non-consensual happen in the next 5 minutes.
That's what Beaver is doing. They're turning the fog into the Transformers warehouse.
calling it
They're stripping
Beaver.
away the mystery so the survivors can optimize their toxicity.
Right.
It's a goddamn hit job on the killer experience.
yes, it
and I'm
is.
standing here in the middle of the marsh with no backup and a diminishing return on my patience. Things are about to get very, very bloody, Teach. Very bloody.
Okay, so that's that. I mean, and we could go over, there were some add-on updates. There were some nerfs. The Blight got nerfed. A couple other killers got nerfed, but that's the big shit for 9.6. Again, no big killers, no nothing exciting. Like we're just kind of fucking coasting through the water like we always have and we always will. So, I mean, and that's part of the problem here is that they release an update that they're just repackaging garbage and giving it back to us that we already had, just in a different form. They're releasing another PTB that has a couple of really it's got one idea that we don't know how bad it's going to be. It's got another idea that's really fucking bad. And now, what is this going to do to the health of the game? Don't even fucking know. And at this point, with how long this podcast has been on, we've talked about health. We've talked about healthy changes, unhealthy changes. The numbers don't lie. They stay about the same. Like, just people watch, people play. They just fucking take it, and then they just keep going about their day. Like, is it going to change? No, it's not even going to fucking change anything because we're just going to sit there and take it. You're going to keep playing this fucking game and then you'll go back to your shitty job and your shitty family, wherever you fucking go. And then that's it. Like that's just the end of it. And that's a perfect random sound for that. So we've got to now go over our next piece of I don't know what any of these words mean. It's so good.
Oh yeah, preach your toxic fucking news. In your toxic fucking news.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm done with that. So let's go over, we're going to go over the stats now because I wanted to go over, that's one of my favorite things because that's what my job is in real life, is to look at statistics, look at numbers and determine what do those numbers mean? Why do the numbers matter? That's the kind of shit I like. So this is combining a game I hate with something I don't hate. So that's the best, worst fucking something of both worlds there. So now, so the stats that they released, this is from September of 2025 to February of 2026. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 5 months. We've got 5 months. We've got almost half a year here. And they have, and I'm going to go over select things. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but I'm going to go over select items here that jump out as I look at them. I've not actually looked at this because I wanted to react live, and you probably already seen all the fucking reactions because other people do their fucking content and they do it timely and they don't fucking wait for a month to get shit out. Well, I waited for a month so you can fucking... Exactly. Okay. So... let's talk about, first of all, survivor pick rates.
Officially a rat.
What? Okay, so survivor pick rates. What survivors are being picked the most, okay? And you know what I just realized? Maybe who we're talking to today is Negative Nicky. The other Nicky with the tracksuit that is not quite right. This actually could be Negative Nicky from the alternate dimension. So I think we need to ask Nicky about this Negative Nicky and what's going on because he sounds different today. So that might actually be him. So, okay, but first, let's get to the stats. So we've got 4 things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about survivor pick rates, the top 5. We're going to talk about survivor escape rates, top 5, killer pick rates, and then killer kill rates. So these are the 4 that we're going to discuss today. So, and then we're going to say, okay, why is that? Does that hold up to what we typically think of and all of that good stuff. So Nicky, we're gonna go over this.
Beaver! I love it. It's perfect, Teach. Because just like the real animal, all they do is chew through the foundations of everything I hold dear and build a goddamn dam to block the flow of my fucking progress.
Okay, so we've got a new name for behavior. Okay, Beaver. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic.
Statistics? You're gonna sit there and show me statistics from the Beaver? Fanculo. You know what statistics are? They're just lies wrapped in a spreadsheet to make me look like a stunad. 90% of them are probably fabricated by some intern named Kyle, who spends his lunch break sniffing glue and looking at Feng Min fan art. You think I trust their data? Every time I get a 4K, the server mysteriously coughs up a hairball. But you think that shows up in their little pie charts? No, it's all a cover-up.
What is going on with Negative Nicky here? I don't know. This is like Mirror Nicky. You remember that? There was a Star Trek where they had the mirror universe and Spock had a beard. This could be that episode of Star Trek. This Nicky is taking the real one, and I don't know if I don't enjoy it.
Listen, you bringing up Beaver and their official numbers? It takes me back. Fall of 22. I find myself in Montreal, the heart of the beast. Why?
Okay.
Because I had a tip, Teach. A tip from a guy who knows a guy who wants to deliver a pizza to a lead designer. He tells me that the central server, the one that decides exactly when my Victor gets stuck in a fucking floorboard, wasn't in an office. It was hidden in the basement of a poutine shop 3 blocks from the headquarters.
Of course he was in a poutine shop because that's all they have there.
I wasn't there for the gravy-soaked fries, I'll tell you that much. I was there for justice. I was there to find the anti-Italian master switch and flip it to respect. But when I get to the alleyway behind this La Squeaky Cheese joint, I see something that turned my blood into ice water.
What? I can't with this.
There's a guy standing by the dumpster. He's wearing a high-vis vest and a hard hat. But under the vest, he's wearing a shirt that says, I love pallet stuns. He's holding a clipboard, and he's looking at a map of my goddamn neighborhood in the Bronx.
What the fuck is that? Who would wear a shirt that said, I love pallet stuns? You know, that probably fucking exists. I guarantee you that shirt. If it doesn't exist, it should, and I could probably sell that shit and make $1 million.
I realized right then, this wasn't just a game company. It was a surveillance state.
Okay.
September 1st to February 28th, you say? That's exactly when I noticed my internet bill went up by $12. It's all connected. Show me the numbers, Teach. Show me the top 5. I bet you my grandmother's last cannoli that it's all a goddamn work of fiction, designed to keep the family business under the thumb of the Beaver. What's first? Who's the top survivor? If it's a P100 Nia, I'm throwing this monitor out the fucking window.
Okay, so I don't believe it's Nia. So let's go over the top picks. Okay, and I think whenever we did this before, I think it's pretty much the same. So for the top picks, we've got the following ones. And I've only got, my air horn is not working, so I've only got a fucking random sound. So I'm just gonna name them and then play a random sound. Now, they do have it split up into a couple of different things. They have it split up into the high MMR versus the broad MMR. And I'm not going to go, you know what, we'll say high MMR. I'm going to read the high MMR ones. And then if there's something different in there, like if there's something that calls out, like we need to point out a difference between the high MMR and the broad, then we'll do that. But just assume for the sake of this, we're talking about high MMR. Cool? I hate those fucking... Oh no, is this... Please God. Don't be the sound effect of the baby crying, the long version. Okay, it is, because the second baby's in the background. The other one only has the one. I've heard it enough. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a negative baby on the other side. Mirror baby. The baby has a beard, probably like Spock. God damn it. Okay, so here we go. So for the top picks on Survivor, okay, are you ready for this? So the number one Survivor, is, and I think this is the exact same, is Sable.
But he is one of the most dangerous men in the world.
Okay, so number one is Sable, which is totally not surprising. People like the feet, people like the fucking bat wings, people want to dress up like the people that go to the, you know, the oddities and the curiosities festival. Half the people that want to play this game, they either want to be with Sable or they want to look like Sable. That's why she gets picked.
Scusi, babidi-boopy? Che cosa?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, number two. Oh my God, this is awful. Now that I'm looking at this, number two is Fang Min. No, that's the wrong fucking sound there. Number three, and remember, this is high MMR, which is surprising. Number three is Nia.
It's Britney, bitch.
No, it's Nia, bitch. Okay, number four, and Nia's not a surprise. Like, Nia's are usually good. Fang Min being one of the top picked in high MMR is a little surprising to me, but in broad MMR is also number two. Now, number four in high MMR is Claudette. That's more of a Fang Min, right? Or not? Okay. And then number five. This is a long fucking song. How long is it? Okay, and then number five, which does not surprise me at all, is Ace Visconti. Which Ace does not show up on the broad MMR. He only shows up on the high MMR, and we know aces are typically, if they're a good ace, they're an unstoppable fucking ace. But this, this is the top five. So we have Sable, Fang Min, Nia, Claude, Ace. On broad MMR, it's Sable, Fang, Meg, Kate, and then fucking, what's her name from Tomb Raider? So that's the difference, is that in the top five broad, you don't have Nia, Claudette, or Ace, which those are typically pretty good players. Now, I don't know why players would kind of matriculate toward those characters. Maybe it's a personality thing or something like that. So, Nikki, what do you make of this shit. Okay, so there we go. I'll be interested to get his opinion, but we know why they pick Sable. We know why they pick Feng Min. It's interesting because with the exception of Sable, these are characters that are very old. They have a shitload of different skins. With the exception of what's her name I'm blanking on her name from Tomb Raider. What is her fucking Lara Croft on the broad MMR number 5? So that's that. And we know why that is. They want their money. They're going to make the skins people want. They're going to make the survivors people want. Sable will be the most picked survivor for the foreseeable future. That's just the way it's going to be. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. We can go to fucking Canada, Montreal.
Sable, number 1. Are you kidding me with this shit, Teach? That goth mope who thinks she can just set up a goddamn hot topic in my office? I've been holding down their basement since before she was even a line of code in some intern's nightmare. It's a total lack of respect. Survivors think they can just walk into the basement, do a little dance, and heal their wounds, while I'm upstairs dealing with 3 gens popping at once? Fanculo. It's an invasion of privacy. It's a violation of the Dente family territory.
Yeah.
And Feng Min at number 2? Of course. The clicky queen of the fog. Every time I see a Feng, I know my blood pressure is going up 50 points because she's going to be teabagging at the gate like she's looking for a goddamn tip. And
okay, so he's 100% on all of this so far.
Nia at number 3, Claudette at number 4. It's the I'm gonna hide in a bush and do fuck all while my team dies starter pack. Beaver is cooking the books, I'm telling you.
Beaver!
There is no way Ace is number 5 unless they're counting all the times he gets left on first hook because he's too busy looking for a chest to find a goddamn flashlight. It's all a fabrication by Kyle the intern and his glue-sniffing buddies to make it look like people actually enjoy playing against a P100 Nia who treats every pallet like a sacred relic. But you mentioned Nia, Teach, and it takes me back.
Yeah.
It takes me back to a very dark time when my noodle arms were the only thing keeping me from a shallow grave in the permafrost.
What the fuck
Fall
is he
of
talking?
2023. I'm
Okay.
looking for a way to bypass the Beaver's regional locks because they keep matching me with mopes from halfway across the world who have 400 ping and a personal grudge against my latency. I get a tip from a guy who knows a guy. We'll call him Fast Fingers Freddy about a server hub hidden in a place called Nia.
Okay, so now we have Killer Power West Virginia, and then we've got a place called Nia.
Yeah, it's a real place. It's a concrete wasteland on the edge of the Baltic Sea where the wind whistles through your ribs like a fucking harmonica.
Okay, this place can't be real. Is there a place, Nia City on Baltic Sea? If this is real, I'm going to freak out. List of cities and towns. Is there a city called Nia? No, I'm Googling. I'm actually Googling. Is there a city called Nia? Nia Ionia in Greece. Oh my fucking God.
I'm a rat.
There are actually multiple cities called Nia. Oh my God. Okay. Well, fan-fucking-tastic. We just learned something new.
I step off the boat, and don't you dare ask how I got on that boat. It involved a crate of frozen calamari and a bribe I'm still paying off in installments.
Okay.
And the air smells like wet wool and betrayal. I'm supposed to meet a contact who goes by The Glitch. He told me that if I
Who
could
are
get him a
these
physical
people?
copy of the original source code, he'd give me the backdoor key to the matchmaking algorithm so I'd never see a flashlight again.
I would do that. I would totally go for that.
I'm walking down this alley.
Yeah.
My Italian leather loafers getting absolutely ruined by slush and God knows what else when I see
pee.
it. A mural. A giant spray-painted mural of a girl in a beanie, looking exactly like the character, but she's holding a real severed head, and the
What?
words underneath
What?
said, "The entity is hungry, but Nicky is lunch."
What the fuck is happening with these stories?
I knew right then, Teach. I wasn't there to fix my ping. I was walking into a goddamn hit.
So Nia's actually going to kill Nicky in this fucking... Okay, this is getting out of control. But we need to let's stay on topic if we can, shalln't we? Hey, let's hold off on the story. Let's hold off on the story. Next is survivor escape rates. Okay, so now I think we talked about this before. I think we had something very similar to this, if not identical, before. So, okay, so here we go. If you're ready, the number one survivor, and we're high MMR, remember, number one survivor is Ace. Which makes sense. Like I said, if you've got a good ace, that's it. He escapes more than any other survivor. Number 2, and this is weird because he's number 2 on the high MMR, but he's number 1 in broad MMR, is Quentin from Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, thank you. And then number 3, high MMR, is David Tapp. What? Okay, number 3 is David Tapp. I'm typing all this out to Nikki right now. Number 4 is Renato. How do you say, what's his last name? Renato Lyra, Lyra, which is wild. I did not know he was that good. That one,
It's a rat, a baby rat.
that one shocks me there. And then number 5 is Adam fucking Francis.
Oh, rats. Rats.
Okay, so that is our top 5 of high MMR is Adam Francis. What do you think of this? What do you think of this shit? I don't know why he's so into telling fucking stories right now. Like he just cannot stop telling these fucking stories. Now, so those were our top 5. Ace, Quentin, David Tapp, Renato, and Adam Francis. Now, here's what's interesting on the escape rates is the broad MMR looks totally different. There is only one that overlaps, and that's Quentin. For some reason, if you pick Quentin, you've only got one skin, and you play this game a fucking lot, I guess. I don't know. So for the broad MMR, it goes Quentin, and then the medic from fucking Silent Hill. Is that Rebecca Chambers or something? Cheryl fucking Sandberg? I can't remember her name. Cheryl fucking Rebecca something. And then Claudette, Zarina, and Ada Wong. So those are your top 5 of the broad MMR, which are kind of garbage, right? Like we know they're garbage. Wait, what? Well, yeah. Oh, I just had a brain fart. I don't know what's going on here. Wait, what's happening? Oh yeah, we were talking about the survivors. Yeah, about how the broad MMR has very little overlap. And this is it's hard to suss out a pattern here on the survivor side. I think, like, to me, I mean, the ace makes sense. Adam makes sense. Renato does not make sense to me. That's the one that kind of gets me. That's the one I don't really understand. So, Nikki, what do you fucking think about this survivor list? Ace, Quentin, Tapp.
Ace! You're telling me that smirking piece of shit is Papa the Heap? Ace Visconti, the guy who looks like he sells veneers at the back of a Chrysler LeBaron. Vaffanculo. I knew it. I goddamn knew it.
Did
the
you?
luckiest bastard in the fog is the one escaping? It ain't skill, Teach. It's a goddamn clerical error in the universe.
Jesus Christ.
He's got that built-in cheat code where he doesn't make any noise when he's hurt. I'm out here bleeding like a stuck pig, screaming loud enough to wake the dead, and this mope is slinking around like a fucking shadow with a gambling addiction. And look at the rest of them. Quentin, Tapp, Renato. It's a goddamn who's who of mopes who hide in lockers and wait for everyone else to bleed out.
Well, that's true.
It's a rat parade, Teach. A goddamn rat parade. Quentin looks like he hasn't slept since the fucking Carter administration, probably because he's too busy crouch walking through a cornfield for 40 minutes. And David Tapp, a cop?
Yes.
Of course he escapes. He's probably got a fucking backroom deal with the entity. I'll give you the names of these 3 Claudettes if you let me out the hatch. It's a disgrace to the uniform. It's all stealth buffs.
God.
Beaver wants a game where nobody actually plays. They just play hide and seek like a bunch of 6-year-olds at a birthday party.
Well, yeah.
But you mention an ace.
Oh, no.
It triggers something in my medulla oblongata. It takes me back to the summer of 2021. I find myself in a town called Ace. Yeah, it's a real place. A goddamn hole in the map out in the Texas wasteland where the wind smells like burnt rubber and cow shit. I wasn't there for a vacation. I was there on a mission of extreme importance for the family.
Okay.
My cousin Vinny, the one with the lazy eye and the soul of a goddamn pigeon, tells me there's a guy in Ace who's got a black box stolen from a Beaver data center.
Beaver,
I roll into town in a rental car
Beaver
that's got no AC and a radio that only plays static and Gregorian chants. The heat is so bad my goddamn gold meatball pendant is sizzling against my chest like a piece of pancetta on a Sunday morning. I'm looking for a specific shack behind a rusted out windmill.
Okay.
Why? Because
Yeah,
Vinny
why?
says this black box has the source code for the matchmaking algorithm.
Oh, he's trying
I'm
to
gonna
get back
find
to-
it, I'm gonna
okay.
smash it, and I'm gonna make sure no Italian American ever has to face a 4-man SWF with purple flashlights ever again. I pull up to the shack, and there's a guy sitting on the porch
Yeah.
cleaning a shotgun with a look in his eye that says he hasn't seen a salad in 20 years. He looks at me, he looks at my tracksuit, and he spits a glob of tobacco right next to my
Okay.
shoe. You look lost, city boy, he says. I look him dead in the eye and I say, I ain't lost, pal. I'm looking for the man who knows too much about the fog.
Jesus
and that's when I
Christ.
saw it. Hanging from the rafters of his porch. A fucking Lucky Charm. Not the cereal, Teach. A goddamn severed finger with a ring on it that looked exactly like Ace Visconti's.
What the fuck is happening? He had Ace's severed finger. Okay. I wish I had time to go into these stores. We'll get. I don't know what to do. This is fucking bananas. The alternate world Nicky is insane, and I may have to keep this guy around. I love him so far. Okay, so let's go. We got to stay on topic here. So we're going to killer pick rates now. Okay, so now let's go to killer pick rates. Go to killer pick rates. Okay, so I'm typing it to him as we're talking about it. That way it just saves time. So we're going high MMR again. Remember, we're going high MMR. Number 1 is the Ghoul. And remember, this is September to February, so it was about that time. Number 2 in high MMR is the Blight, and that's not a surprise at all. I know, right. Stop the presses, start the presses. Number 3 is Wesker. It just played 2 typing sounds, one over the other. Oh my God. Number 4 during this time, and I think this is because of losing, how long is this fucking thing? Okay, there we go. Number 4, and I think it's because they lost a license, was Michael Myers. And then this random soundboard thing is not working for me. And then the last one is number 5, high MMR, is Freddy Fazbear.
On principle, I never say anything that another person is obviously trying to get me to say.
Okay.
The first wedding ceremony took 2 hours because after the priest said, "Repeat after me," I fell silent.
Okay. So we've got our 5. We've got Ghoul, Blight, Wesker, Myers, and Freddy Fazbear. Now, if you look at the broad MMR pick rates, remember those are the most picked. So the Ghoul was fairly new at that time. Myers was getting ready to go out. Fazbear was somewhat newer at that time, so that may account for the pick rate in this time period. Now, if you go to broad MMR, just everybody basically, you're going to get the Huntress, right? You know, I never see Huntresses, so I must be out of that broad MMR bullshit. I never see a Huntress. Number 2 was Myers. Number 3, Fazbear. So it's all the same. Number 5 is the Ghoul. And then the only one who is unique on the broad MMR is the Legion, who is now kill switch because they can't figure out what to do with this fucking character. So anyway, that is the top picked characters. Now, the question is, does the top picked, and here is where the data part goes, okay? And here's where you have to think about it analytically. Does the pick rates correlate to the kill rates? Like, are people picking these killers because they're so efficient in killing? Or is there some kind of discrepancy between those two things? Like maybe a killer gets picked all the time, but their kill rate is low.
Cool! Freddy Fazbear, are you shitting me, Teach? I feel like I'm having a goddamn stroke looking at these numbers. Fanculo.
What?
Freddy Fazbear's number 5?
Yeah.
He went from the goddamn Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Michael Myers to a fucking animatronic teddy bear that smells like stale pepperoni and Chuck E. Cheese floor grease? It's a disgrace. It's the death of horror, I'm telling you. Beaver is out here catering to the toddlers who need a nightlight to go to the goddamn bathroom. And Ghoul at number 1? Of course. The new shiny toy. Every meta-slave mope in the fog is running that piece of shit because the hitboxes are probably the size of a fucking Buick. And Blight at number 2? Wesker at number 3? It's the I have no personality, so I need to move at Mach 5 starter pack. You think these guys care about the art of the kill? No.
Yeah.
They just want to end the game in 4 minutes so they can go back to sniffing glue and looking at their precious stats. But you see what's happening here, right?
No.
Look at Myers at number 4. The
Okay.
only reason he's even on the list is because real killers, men of dignity, men like me, are trying to hold on to the last shred of respect this game has left.
Okay.
We're the resistance, Teach. We're the
Yeah.
ones keeping the lights on while the Beaver tries to turn
The
the trial
Beaver.
into a goddamn Saturday morning cartoon. But listen, these
Okay.
stats, they're a trail of breadcrumbs.
Are they?
After I left Montreal in a stolen Hertz rental with the Beaver's official server cooling units in the
Beaver.
trunk, I didn't go home. I couldn't. I had the feds and the Provolone Patrol breathing down my
Who is
neck
the
like a
Provolone
P100 nurse with
Okay.
an Omega blink. I
Yeah.
headed south, way
Did you?
south. I ended up in a place they call Ace. Not the Moke Visconti. I'm talking about the dark, greasy underbelly of Atlantic City.
Okay.
February
Way
of 2023.
south to
The boardwalk
Atlantic
was empty.
City?
The wind was whipping off the ocean like a fucking chainsaw.
Okay.
And the neon lights were flickering like a
Why is
dying
he telling
generator.
so many fucking
Why was I
stories?
there? Because my contact, a guy they call the House, told me that the Beaver wasn't running their numbers out of Canada anymore.
I
They
can't.
moved the RNG calibration center to the back of a bankrupt casino called the Golden Hook.
Okay.
I walk into this place, right?
Right.
The air smells like mothballs in desperation. I'm
Okay.
looking for a specific slot machine.
Yeah.
A machine that doesn't pay out in quarters, Teach.
Okay.
It pays out in data.
Oh.
I find it in the VIP lounge, tucked behind a velvet curtain that looked like it hadn't been washed since the fucking Nixon administration.
What is
And you know what I
happening?
saw on the screen?
I don't
It wasn't
know.
cherries or sevens, you absolute stunad. It was a live feed of a lobby. And standing right there, looking at the monitor with a grin that could curdle milk, was a guy wearing a suit that cost more than my fucking house. I
Okay.
realized right then, the pick rates aren't a reflection of what we like to play. They're a goddamn forecast. They
Yeah?
were betting on us, Teach. They were
Are
taking
they?
odds on how many times I'd lose my mind over a pallet stun. And the guy
Oh.
at the machine, he wasn't a gambler. He was a Beaver executive with a goddamn spreadsheet for
Jesus
a soul.
Christ,
I started
Beaver.
to reach for my negotiator, the heavy
Yeah.
one, the one made of solid brass.
What
but
is
then
a
the lights went out.
negotiator?
Not just in the lounge, the whole goddamn city went dark.
Okay, why?
And in the silence, I heard it. The sound
no.
of a bear trap snapping shut right behind my fucking ear. Don't you dare interrupt me.
Why?
You want to know who was behind that curtain?
No.
You want to know why Freddy Fazbear is number 5? It's all connected to the Ace job, I'm telling
Oh,
you.
Jesus
the Beaver
Christ.
is cooking more than just the books. They're cooking our goddamn brains.
Okay, so the
Vafanculo.
the last bit here is the killer kill rates. We're gonna end this with killer kill rates. With the killer kill rates. Now, this one is interesting, I think. So let's go to the high MMR first. So number 1 is the Crusoe. Now, the Crusoe was new at this time. Number two is the new Vecna. The new Vecna.
Like mice, rats.
Okay, number 3 is the twins. Oh my God, dude. Are you serious? Is the twins. Wow, that's fantastic. Number 3 in kills at high MMR is the twins. Number 4 is the ghoul. Which, okay, so what is interesting is none of these people are in the top of the pick rates, but they are in the top of the kill rates. And then number five is the Lich. All right, so that is our top 5. So what do you think? What do you think about that? Twins is number 3. Maybe there's no discrimination. And you're making it up. Bitch. Okay, there we go. That's going to get me what I want right there. Okay. So now let's look at the broad MMR though. So that was high MMR. Broad, number 1 is the Lich. So
Oh, shit!
and number 2 is Freddy Krueger, not Freddy Fazbear. Number 3 is Sadako. Number 4 is the Dredge, which is surprising.
Holy shit, Dad's wasted again.
And then number 5 is a Cenobite. And this is kill rates. The only one that is consistent amongst both the broad and the high is the Lich. So it does not correspond, with the exception of the ghoul. High pick rates do not necessarily equal high kill rates. Now, they may be in the higher end, but they're not at the tippy top. So that tells you a little bit there about what's going on, or at least what was going on during that time, which I find very interesting. I think that's it'll be interesting to see next time what we're going to get. So, I don't know, I don't know what exactly a lot of this means. I think it means the few people that stick with some of these killers learn them really fucking well. And, it's like the people that still play Street Fighter 6 or 5 or even 4.
Number 3! You think a goddamn bronze medal means there ain't no bias? You absolute stunner.
Well, but I thought because of the Twins being number 3, there would be no more anti-Italian bias.
Fanculo. Listen to me, you ungrateful prick.
What?
The only reason Charlotte and Victor are even sniffing the top 5 is because the Dente family is carrying the entire goddamn player base on our collective noodle arms.
Well,
we're
it
out
could
here
be.
working twice as hard for half the respect. You think Beaver is helping us? No. Every kill I get is a miracle from the Madonna herself because the hitboxes are rigged and the pallets are made of goddamn vibranium.
Well,
and Krasu at number 1?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? Some floating head from a nightmare Beaver had after eating bad sushi and watching too much late-night cable? It's a gimmick. And Vecna at number 2? Of course. The pay-to-win wizard is high on the list. It's a goddamn fantasy game now.
Yeah,
what happened to the gritty slashes? What happened to the dignity of a man with a machete? Now we got lich lords and animatronic bears running the show while the twins are left to rot in the basement like a bucket of 3-week-old calamari.
Well,
you think I'm making this shit up? You think I'm paranoid? I call it like I see it. If there was no discrimination, why does Vecna have more outfits than a goddamn runway model, while Victor is still running around looking like a peeled grape? It's a hit job, Teach. A digital assassination of the Dente legacy.
Yeah.
And don't you dare call me a bitch. I've survived worse than your little spreadsheet insult.
He didn't get
This
us
is exactly
upset.
what I was leading up to at Montreal. Pay attention, because this is where the veil gets lifted.
Oh, no.
I'm in the sub-basement of Beaver HQ, right? I've
always
bypassed
there.
the Fung Min Pajama Design Suite and the Flashlight Sensitivity Lab.
Okay,
I find the
Pajama
master
Design
server.
Suite.
It's humming like a beehive full of caffeinated hornets.
Yeah.
And there it is, Teach.
Okay.
I see it with my own 2 eyes. A physical dial on the side of the mainframe labeled Entric Performance Adjustment.
Entric?
I'm hiding behind a rack of
What is
overpriced server
Entric?
cooling units, and I see a guy in a Beaver polo shirt. Looked like he hadn't seen the sun since the Bush administration. Reach out and turn the Italian knob all the way down to suboptimal. He mutters something about too much pressure and balancing the sauce. I almost jumped out right there and choked him with a fiber optic cable. But then the door at the far end of the room opens.
Oh, no.
And you won't believe who walked in. The stakes just went through the goddamn roof, Teach. This goes all the way to the top.
Oh, no. Okay, so it'd be Matthew Cote. I already know. We already know, but we gotta go. So, Nikki, we've got to get our outro for this week. I'm sorry we had to cut it short. We got the time. I gave you as much time as I possibly could. We will be back next week, though. I can guarantee you we will be back next week. We're not going to take another month off. I know you were worried about that. What?
Oh, shit! A rat!
We're not going to take another month off, but we're done for this week. So we've got to get our outro genre, the intro to the outro, and we've got to get out of here. Nikki, what genre, or negative Nikki, or alternate dimension Nikki, what genre should we do? I don't even want to know. And this might be a different because he's
We
different.
gotta run? I haven't even gotten to the good part yet, you absolute stunard. You think I'm just gonna stop because the goddamn clock says so?
Yeah.
Fuck you and your schedule, Tate. I'm mid-revelation here.
Yeah?
I'm pulling back the curtain on the Beaver's whole operation, and you're looking at your watch like you got a hot date with a spreadsheet. Fa fanculo. Listen to me. So I'm in Montreal, right? It's November. It's colder than a
I
race
asked for the
hot, and I'm
outro.
standing outside the Beaver HQ.
Okay.
I got a fake ID that says I'm Tony Macaroni, lead pasta consultant. I walk past the front desk carrying a box of high-end pastries because nobody, and I mean nobody, questions a man with a box of cannolis.
Okay.
I bypass the elevator and take the stairs down to the sublevel. The basement, the place where they keep the central nervous system.
Yeah.
I open the heavy steel door,
Where's
and
the
what do I
Italian
see?
knob?
A room full of servers, humming like a swarm of angry hornets.
That's what
and every
servers
single
do.
one of them is draped in a goddamn Canadian flag. I start looking for the terminal that controls matchmaking logic, and I find it. But there's a lock on it. A
Okay.
physical lock that looks like a fucking miniature bear trap. And
Okay.
sitting right next to it, a half-empty jar of store-bought, shelf-stable Alfredo sauce. The disrespect! They're using white sauce heresy to lubricate the gears of my suffering.
Exactly.
I'm starting to hack the system with a screwdriver and a prayer to the Madonna when the lights turn red.
Oh, no.
Not blood moon red, but you're about to get your kneecaps flattened red.
Oh,
A
no.
voice comes over the intercom. It sounds like a mix between a blight growl and a corporate HR representative.
Okay,
and it
they
says,
found him.
Mr. Dente, your presence is unauthorized.
Oh, no.
I'm cornered, Teach. I'm in the heart of the machine, surrounded by fake stats and bad sauce, and the Beaver is closing in. You want a genre
Beaver.
for this disaster of an
Yes.
episode? Since we're
Yes.
talking about
Thank
Beaver
you.
cooking the books, diminishing returns on my goddamn patience, and Ace Visconti lucking his way to the top like a greasy bastard at a craps table,
Yes.
we need music that sounds like a data breach at a deli. The
Okay.
genre for episode 84
Oh, no.
is Sinfonia of the Shredded Spreadsheet with distorted cannelloni press overdrive.
I don't even know what that
It needs to sound like
fucking
a
means.
mainframe having a fucking seizure while a mandolin player gets tossed into a wood chipper. It needs to be loud, it needs to be messy, and it needs to smell like ozone and burnt garlic.
Okay.
Hit the button, Teach, before I lose what's left of my goddamn mind. Fa-fan-culo.
That's it for episode 84. Again, we're in Symphonia of the Shredded Spreadsheet with distorted cannelloni press overdrive. Until next time, get the fuck out of my face or whatever it is. I don't even know. I've forgotten. It's been a whole month.
A month off now, they're back for more. Mainframe Sager, here we go. Thank you, Lord. Toxic's fucking soundboard broke. Blood moon came and went a joke. Trickster, rock kill, pile of shit. No new killer, eat a dick. Claude source code getting crammed. Straight up Nicky's fucking ram. But he sounds off, something's wrong. Mirror Nicky all night long. Episode 84. Beaver's cooking at the core. Camping and softly 84. That's a breach at the deli door. Camping and softly 84. Fuck the Beaver to the core. Symphony of shredded fucking spreadsheets. 9.6, the patch drops dead. Diminishing returns inside your head. 150, 25, 12.5, down to 5. Stack your perks, they slice them thin. Beaver rig the fucking spin. Visible team perks in the queue. Solo lobbies, a fucking SWF crew. Every killer getting screwed. Every goddamn trial's rude. Camping them softly 84. Data breach at the deli door. Camping them softly 84. Fuck the beater to the core. Nicky's got a fake fucking ID. Tony Macaroni lead past a consulted baby. Box of cannolis walking past the front desk. Sub-level basement down in Montreal. Berber's humming draped in Canadian flags. Half empty jar of store. Bought Alfredo. Lubricating the beer trap fucking lock. The disrespect. White sauce, here's I. Hacking with a screwdriver and a prayer to the Madonna. The lights turn red, kneecap flattening red. Italian performance knob turned all the way down to suboptimal. Bafanchulo. Sable top the survivor list. Fengming clicky clicky piss. Ace escaped his greasy ass. Skating past him slick as glass. Golden blight are killing queens. Twins creep up in the kill rate scene. Christo ripped the chart apart. Vexna's wizard blew his heart. Beaver spreadsheet tells the tale. Every fucking data point stale. Camping them softly 84. That's the breach at the deli door. Camping them softly 84. Mandolin in a fucking wood chipper roar. Bafanchulo, Bafanchulo. Cannelloni, press overdrive. 84 signing off tonight. Bozo staying alive. Capping them softly, we survive.